What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Ani-mity, and I have finally returned. I am back. I am back in my old setup. I've got my recording softwares. I've got everything. We're officially baby. Um, yeah, so I wanted to be able to take a moment here to be able to reflect a little bit on my time away from doing the LA program, talk a little bit about what's going to be going on with the channel, and most importantly of all, I had some people I wanted to be able to thank. Um, there's a lot of people who've been very, very supportive of me in my journey, been very supportive of me in all the things I want to be able to do with YouTube. They've been supportive of so many different ventures that I've wanted to go on, and I just wanted to be able to take a moment to be able to go kind of through that list and be able to thank every single one of them. And there's a lot of people, so I hope you'll stick around for that. But before we get to that, let me talk about the LA program a little bit and talk about my thoughts, my experience with it, and all that good stuff. So, for those who don't know, or for those who are just watching this channel for the first time, first of all, welcome. It's good to have you here. But for those who don't know, I took part in a study abroad, quote unquote, program, where I went to LA. I got to live in LA for a bit. Thankfully before the fires started. But I was say my thoughts and prayers go out to the people in LA still dealing with the recourse of the fires and still dealing with the situations of that. I pray for all of them. There's a buddy of mine who lives up in LA who fortunately I don't think has been affected too much by it, but all the same I've been worrying about them ever since I started hearing about the fires, and I just want to know. And I know they're doing okay, but also I still am hoping that they'll continue to be okay with everything that's happening. But anyway, I got to live in LA for 3 months with a small group of friends, and it was kind of the objective was we were going there to get an internship, be able to start working there in LA, and be able to build up our resumes experience, and be able to just get a sense of what I guess, the career space would look like for us as entertainers or as people who want to contribute to the entertainment space. We got to see what it was like to be a part of it all, and I enjoyed what I got to do for it. I worked for a small company called Story Scout. I enjoyed my time there very, very much. I loved the people that I got to work with there. The work itself was good to do. I liked doing what I did for them. Of course, my inexperience made it quite frustrating at times, but they were very patient with me, and I'm very glad that I got to be a part of that internship. And on top of everything else, something that I didn't really appreciate until my professor sat me down near the tail end of my internship was, I guess, the fact that this is kind of what the writing job was like. There were days where I had like hours and hours worth of work that I had to do for a bunch of different stuff. And I loved every single thing I got to do for it. But then there'd be also be times where I had very little I had to do, just like a few checks here and there, a few like articles I had to write here and there. I'd be doing like weeks and weeks and weeks worth of work and sometimes going back and checking like, oh, did I do everything for tomorrow? Did I do everything for the next week? And just making sure everything was in order as often as possible. And sometimes I'd get through it all so quickly, just there'd be not a whole lot to do. I was very efficient at what I was doing and I was very happy about that. But, I always found work to do. I always asked like, hey, is there anything more I can do? I'm available. I'm here. There's stuff I could do. And, sometimes there would be, sometimes there wouldn't be. And I'd continue doing stuff. I'd be helping my other interns, or not my other interns, but I'd be helping the other interns as much as possible. But sometimes just there wouldn't be a whole lot for me to do. And I got frustrated by that often because, not on behalf of the internship itself, but just like I wanted to be able to prove that I was doing stuff, that I was earning the hours that I was spending working on a lot of the projects, that I was earning the time that I spent doing a lot of the stuff, and I never really felt like I did. But my professor rightfully said that's the whole game of the writing industry is that sometimes you'll have like 50 things you need to do in a day. Sometimes you'll have maybe one or two things you need to do over the course of a month. And it kind of varies depending on the kind of writing jobs you do. It kind of varies depending on the kind of schedule that ends up being presented to you. And sometimes you can't do anything about that. And also, sometimes that's just the way it goes. And you just kind of have to work out that in your mind. And that took me some time to really get used to with doing the industry. It got took me some time getting used to that with my internship, but it overall ended up working out pretty well, if I do say so myself, and I ended up enjoying myself quite a bit for what I was doing. In addition to that, I was getting used to living, I guess, of just in the sense of, we weren't necessarily paying rent, but we were making sure we were managing our house, we were managing some other stuff in our place, managing how much electricity and water we were using. I was living with three other friends, and if you've been following this channel long enough, I don't know if I actually talked about this on this channel. I had a roommate at one point, you know, nice enough person. They were okay. I admit fully, I'm not the easiest person in the world to live with. And the person who I was living with was just not a very good match for the kind of person that I am, and it was just a very stressful experience for me at least. I don't know for them, but for me, it was just adjusting to someone else who so fundamentally goes against the things that I do. And this thing is, as a roommate, I'm like, I don't want to tell someone how to live their life. I don't want to tell someone how they should or shouldn't be doing things, that they can and can't do stuff. It's like that's not what this is about. I'm just gonna do my thing. You can do yours. As long as we don't like clash with each other, then it's all fine. We inevitably did, and I just never really had the desire or the courage to be able to work that up to be able to say otherwise. So I was very nervous about having roommates this time around in LA, but it ended up working out really, really well. And I had my best friend, who I'll be, of course, uh, thanking closer to the end of this video for a lot of the stuff that happened with that. It was great to have them there. And I got to do a whole bunch more as well. So I got to do some writing classes where I got to continue writing on My Baby, anime that I'm in the process of producing myself. I have a curse when it comes to writing. I've written the first episode of my script, maybe of my show, I mean, like 30 times now or something like that. Every single time I'll get to the end of writing my episode one draft. And then I'll put it down, I'll go do something else, I'll be working on some other things, I'll have classwork, I'll have like, other assignments I'm working on, and I'll come back to it and I'll read over the script and I'll say, this is terrible. And then go back and redo it and redo it and redo it and redo it. And I never really get to writing the next episode or any of those stuff. And I planned out a lot of the stuff that I know I want to have happen for my series. It's just I don't know. I just never really get through writing that first episode because always it's just like as writers we're always improving. We're always looking for new ways we can write our stories. We're always looking for new ways we can do the things that we're doing in more efficient ways or in more expressive ways than we did the last time we did it. So I was always looking for new ways I could do my script, and I always just kept rewriting and rewriting and rewriting. And unfortunately, it just meant that I just never got to the next episodes. And I'm trying to break that habit slowly, but it certainly hasn't been the easiest thing to do in the world. But I'm trying. I am trying. So I've been working on that a lot. Hopefully, I'll be able to actually show something for that on the channel at some point. I've been toying around with a few different animation softwares on the internet. I'm terrible at drawing, so I'm never going to be able to make a uh, a proper animation like necessarily in the style that I want it to be in. And of course, I'm not very good with my voice, as I'm sure you guys have known from listening to my content for as long as you guys have. So I haven't been able to figure out how I wanted to do this as a medium in which I can show it to you guys, to at least have like I wanted to be able to kind of go the Has Been Hotel route. And by the way, I'll get to that also at the end of this video. There's some stuff coming for that as well. I wanted to be able to kind of go that route, and that I want to have at least a pilot here on YouTube, and then, I have that as a because the whole thing with this channel is that I wanted to make this kind of my portfolio of storytelling, my portfolio of what I can do as a storyteller, to be able to show that to, potential employers and other people who might want to hire me. And, I want to be able to have something here to show it. And on top of that, it's a passion project of mine. I want to be able to share it with the people here who have been so supportive of me on YouTube and who've been making so many of my dreams come true. Um, and I wanted to take more advantage of that on YouTube. And I've been slowly but surely implementing other strategies. While I was in LA, we got the chance to meet a whole bunch of people within the industry, and I of course am glad that I got to meet every single one of them. But the one that I was the most I guess enthusiastic is not the word, but the most like I took away the most, I guess, from them because of that I felt like, man, this is someone who I can really connect to and I can really kind of relate to was didn't know this until they came over that I apparently am going to, or I'm going to graduate from, the same school as Danny Mata. Now, if you guys don't know who that is, link in the description down below. But they are a amazing YouTuber. I accidentally found their stuff when I was looking at reactions to Hell of a Boss and Has Been Hotel, and I started watching the videos. And I thought they were so funny. I just loved the videos that they had for that. Um, so I watched them, and then I saw them, and I kind of was like, I have a habit of doing that where just like I don't like put names to face, and I don't really like register that like, oh yeah, I know this person until like way later than I absolutely should. So they said like, oh, this guy Danny's gonna be showing up here. I don't really, the teacher's like, I don't really know how to explain what it is he does, but he does YouTube and that kind of thing. So I'm like, okay, cool, we get someone who does YouTube. That's fine. So I met him and I realized like halfway through him explaining what he does for YouTube and that kind of thing, he's like, you're that Danny. Okay. So since then I've been watching a lot of their videos. I'm watching Anime IRL, one of my favorite channels lately because I think their videos are so funny. So again, link down below if you guys want to know what kind of content I've watched nowadays, I guess. Because just their videos were really really good. And I was very enthusiastic about watching their stuff. But something that he told me then, and something that I wanted to take his advice of just like, I want to take a lot more advantage of this channel. I want to take a lot more advantage of the social media platforms that I use through this channel, be it my X account, which I've been using a little bit more. Eventually, I'm going to make a Blue Sky account. I've just been like, I barely use my X account as it is. Why would I make another social media account? But I want to use those a lot more to start talking a lot more about what I'm doing on YouTube because I've realized that's a tool I could have been using all this time. I've never been using it because I'm very bad at it. I'm very bad at social media in general, which is kind of shocking to say as someone of this generation. But I'm gonna get better at doing that. I'm gonna try my best to do it. So if you guys will, help me in any way, shape, or form, that would be very much appreciated. But I will be trying to do a lot more with social media for that purpose. Um, and yeah, that's kind of like the bulk of everything that I did while I was in LA. I got to meet a bunch of people, I got to do a bunch of classes, and I got to do my internship. And it was all really, really fun, and it was all great. Of course, there were like frustrating moments of second guessing whether or not I was, you know, good enough to do any of the stuff I was doing, as I'm sure happens when you're trying to chase after your passions, when you're trying to chase after your dreams. And it's kind of gotten to the point with me in writing of just like I love writing and I still very much do love what I do with writing, but I've kind of shifted my mindset as far as looking at it as a job. And it's like I love writing. It's a thing I definitely do love to do, and it's a thing I do very often in my free time and that kind of thing. But do I want to do it as a job? And it's kind of the first time I've ever really questioned that. It's kind of like, well, of course I do. It's something I love to do. Why wouldn't I want to do that as a job? And it's kind of like looking at what doing anything I love to do as a job entails. The moment that your work ethic and such is being graded, and then you're being like judged based on that, and you're going to be paid based on how well you do whatever it is you're doing, I feel like that just instantly kills any kind of motivation I have toward most of the stuff. But it's just like, I love writing just for the sake of writing. And sometimes when you can turn off that brain that's telling you you're doing this for something else and you're just writing to write, then it becomes a lot easier to be able to do a lot of stuff that I do. And it's something I'm trying my best to do with it. Just my brain is very very good at telling me I'm not going to be doing well in this or I'm not going to enjoy what it is I'm doing, which is something I'm slowly working on uh, as an ongoing struggle of life. So yeah, just LA kind of made me see a lot of what it was like. And if for whatever reason you are, looking at colleges and for whatever reason you're watching my channel and wondering, oh man, I wonder how this went for you. I would highly recommend this program. I would highly recommend the experience of it. I was very nervous going into it, obviously, as I've said probably 20 times by now. I was very nervous about going into this program because I mean it's the first time I've ever been really so far away from home. The first time I've been like relying on myself to cook for myself, to be able to take care of myself and that kind of thing, at least to a slightly larger degree than I have in the past. So um if you're looking for an experience in, how to be a functioning adult in the world and also how to, what the industry is going to be like. If you're interested in taking an entertainment job, or if you're interested in anything that has to do with the industry, be it, camera production, set production, acting, all that kind of stuff. If you're looking for a chance to give that a try, I would highly recommend, if a college, and I would highly recommend this program overall. It was a great experience, and I'm so glad that I got the chance to be a part of it, and I'm so glad that I got to do it with my best friends for that entire experience. It meant the world to me, and I am still with two of them. We're still working our way through school now. We're going to be working toward our graduation slowly but surely. But it's also like we don't really, or we haven't really, and not we don't, 'cause I mean, there's still plenty of time left, but we haven't really seen each other much since we got back and that kind of thing. And it's like I miss the time that we had together. I do. And I'll get into some other stuff in that also later. There's so many things I'm pushing into this later. I am so sorry, guys. This is gonna be a long video. Um, but yeah, so that's my experience with the LA program. I think there's not really a whole lot more I could say about that. I mean, I've talked about what it was like living there. I talked about the actual experience of that. I talked about meeting Danny and all that kind of stuff. So just overall, really good experience. Would highly recommend doing it. And if I could do it again, I would take a lot more advantage of, I guess, reaching out to people and making more connections while I was there, just because I'm terrible at doing that anyway. It's like I want to make friends, but at the same time, the idea of making friends is very daunting for me. And I kind of wish that it wasn't so much for me when I was in LA, and I wish I could have taken more advantage of that and maybe done a little bit more with reaching out to people, because that is a big thing if you want to be able to make any kind of momentum for yourself. Is just you got to make friends, and if you're good at doing that, then you're going to thrive. If not, then it's a bit more of a struggle, but eventually we all end up building our way there. And eventually I know I will. So that happened. So now, the channel and some stuff that's going to be happening with the channel. I have a lot of projects I'm going to be working on for the channel. Eventually, I would like to work on some animation stuff. It's going to take me forever to do, and within the weekly upload schedule that I'm sticking to for the channel, there would be no way for me to properly get something done in that way, because animation takes forever. And things with these videos, it's not like I put a lot of time into just working on them. It takes me a couple days to be able to edit it, make sure it looks good, make sure it's all uploaded and that kind of stuff. So usually it takes me a while to get these videos in order and that kind of thing. So doing animation and making sure all the animation stuff looks good is going to take extremely long for me to do. So doing that here on the channel just isn't really feasible yet. But because of that, I have a lot of projects I'm going to be working on. I am going to continue doing reaction stuff. Sadly, I don't have Alia here with me to do reactions anymore, but I do have a bunch of series I'm going to be reacting to. I've wanted to go back and watch ReZero for the longest time, so I'm going to be going back to rewatch that on the channel here. I watched Roshadere, which I'm going to do a review of that soon. And I've also seen Has Been Hotel and Hell of a Boss, which I'll be doing probably a few covers for songs for on this channel every now and then when I work up the courage to actually do songs for that. I definitely will be doing a review of all three of those series, Roshadere, Has Been Hotel, and Hell of a Boss at some point, because I love the series so much, and there's so much I can talk about for what makes those stories really work. And again, it's the core of this channel is talking about stories, so I want to be able to talk about them at length when I have the chance to here on the channel. So I look out for those. Let me know in the comments down below. I'll also leave a poll probably at some point asking you guys what do you guys want to see first, because I want to do one of those review series first, and then eventually build into doing a what do we call it? Build into doing a reaction series to to ReZero, and then probably to who knows what else after that. And then there's a bunch of shows out there I want to be able to watch. For those who don't know, I have a long running list of shows that I eventually want to be able to consume. So if there's any shows you guys want me to consume that either are or aren't on that list, and you just guys want me to react to it and that kind of thing, I've wanted to see Arcane for a while, so I might do reactions to that on the channel if I get enough votes for that. Who knows? There's a bunch of stuff I could do here on the channel with that. There's a bunch of stuff I will be doing here on the channel for that. And we'll just kind of see where that goes. I also do have some mild gaming stuff I may or may not chase after, because I recently bought Undertale, which I've never played before. So I might play that on the channel at some point. but we'll see. 'Cause, I mean, gaming is not something that I necessarily am good at, and it's also not something that this channel is necessarily focused around or that kind of thing. But who knows? We'll see what I end up doing. We'll see what I end up doing when I get there. It's just kind of a lot of ideas right now for what I could do, what I could be, and a lot of just what ifs and that kind of thing that are happening. So we will see. Now for the big section of this, the thank you section. Um, there are so many people that I want to be able to just say thank you to. There, it's been a lot in my own head, reconciling with how things are going with my desires to do screenwriting, my desires to handle all the stuff that I've been doing to be able to like have the confidence to be able to push forward with a lot of stuff, and it's been scary for a lot of different stuff, and a lot of things have been happening. But I wanted to take this time to recognize the fact that I have the best support team possible behind me. And there are so many people who are so loyally behind me and who do so much to make sure that I have my head on straight and that no matter how difficult things seem, that I always find a way to be able to get back up. It's my father always told me, what do we call it? What was it? It's just like you don't others don't make you happy. You find happiness in others. And it's a saying that I've always believed in and it's a good thing for like self-reliance and that kind of thing. I guess I've never really been good at that self-reliance thing because the thing is I've been struggling with intrusive thoughts and a whole bunch of other stuff in my head for a very, very long time. And just like that voice in your head telling you you'll never be good enough, and that kind of voice that's telling you it will never be good enough. So it's hard to ever say that like I am finding that in myself because of that there's that voice always telling you there's nothing good in there. But there's so many friends of mine who I guess found motivation in, and I've kind of clung to that and used that to be able to motivate myself. So there's a lot of people there I want to be able to thank. I mean, there's my mother, my father, who I definitely want to thank for the fact that they didn't say no when I said I wanted to do screenwriting. They never said that, oh, it'll never work out or that kind of thing. They gave me the freedom to be able to explore this dream, and they gave me the freedom to be able to be the person that I wanted to be, even and they fully made me aware that there were chances that it might not work out as well as it could, but they never said no, and they never discouraged me in the process of following my dream, and they enabled me to do so much in following my dream, and in giving me the best chance and the best life that I possibly could ask for someone like me. And I'm so grateful for all the things I had to do with them. And I'm so grateful for them in general. And so many members of my family who I've told stories to about what's going on with this and who've been so much in my corner. Thank you all so so much for all your love and all your support in all the ventures I've wanted to pursue. Um, I want to say thank you, of course, to Nick. If you know Nick, he and I did only one video on this channel so far. We did our Unfair Mario video. We wanted to do more or I wanted to do more videos with him, but it's just kind of I haven't really had the scheduling or the mental like I haven't been okay enough to be able to just kind of write a message out to him. He's been busy in his own stuff and that kind of thing, and I kind of didn't want to bother him. But I'm sure the moment that I post this video, he's gonna say like, "Bro, I've been waiting for you." But it's just I'm terrible at doing that. I'm sorry, Gold. So it's just, we'll see what that ends up happening with that at some point. But he's been one of my best friends, and he's been one of the ones who supported me in a lot of my ambitions with that. He and I used to write together for a long time, so he supported me fully, even though like he said he enjoyed what he was doing with it, but it also just like he and I have kind of gone on very different career paths from each other. But he always supported me in that, and I'm gonna be forever grateful for that. It was him and Knight, who I've yet to have in a video on this channel at least, but I'll also link down in the description below for I guess a little fun fact for you guys. I before running this channel and after running Joe Gaming, I used to be a part of a channel called Relic of Knowledge, which that channel is super dead. Do not ask for that channel to ever come back. It never will. But we used to be a part of the channel. Goldie, Knight, and I used to run that channel. talking about Ruby, talking about Genlock, talking about a few different a few different Rooster Teeth products, and being able to talk about what what our thoughts were on that, talk about like the general things that happen in the story, what we think are going to happen next. It's like it was everything that I wanted to do with this channel. It just was a little bit more analytical and a little bit more I guess like driven is the word, I guess, because it just I don't know why, between like the recording issues that we ran into, the fact we were trying to specifically keep it within a certain time frame and a whole bunch of other stuff, it just like it got very frustrating to record videos for that, so I got very burnt out in doing that very quickly. Which is part of why that channel ended up dying the way it did. Um and also just I was in a very different headspace back then. But that channel also is a very big reason why I'm able to do this now. So I also will forever be grateful to it, and I'll be forever grateful to Nick and Knight for helping me with that. So if you guys want to check out what videos were like for us back then, link to that will be down below. Um, and then I guess we'll get to the more familiar quote unquote names. And I want to start this off with thanking Chris. Now, if you don't know Chris, he recorded the entire Vanguard series with me, and we have a bunch more Vanguard and not Vanguard related content that we're going to be recording together in a bit. I don't know exactly when we're going to be doing that. It kind of is, again, one of those like, it depends on scheduling. I am still a student in Ithaca, and I still have classes and such that I will be continuing to do work and stuff for. So we'll see how that ends up going. We'll see how that ends up working out for us. But we'll try to do some videos there. But beyond that, even if Chris wasn't on this channel, he's been another like great friend and another great source of support for me. He and I have been talking with each other constantly, and he's been with me through every up, every down, every dip, every rise, every moment that I've had since coming here. Forget since coming to Ithaca. Since I finished my high school, he's been with me supporting me and saying and helping me out with all my different kind of projects and giving me a lot of chances to be able to refine my craft and find new and better ways to express myself as a writer and to be able to express myself better as a content creator. So I am grateful for his support in that regard, and then also just as a friend, he's been with me through some of the darker moments of my own mindset and just kind of the moments where I just reached that mental low. He's been there to support me, or he's been there to always lend an open ear if I ever needed it. And he always gave me the space I needed if I ever needed to just step away. And he always made sure that I had somewhere in a strange sense to call home when I'm so far away from my actual home. So I am so super grateful for him and for all the stuff that he's done with me in supporting me for my goals and for just being a functioning human being in the world. And I am so grateful that I have him as a friend. Um, and I guess by an extension, because I met this person through Chris, and well, met is a strong word. I haven't actually met them yet, but I hope one day I'll get to meet them. I hope one day I'll get to actually talk to them. I only know them as Falcon, Mr. Falcon, who does a podcast with Chris. Now, I would say if you didn't know, Chris did a podcast. Shout outs to them. Link also to them down below. There's a lot of links are going to be in this video, aren't there? But link to them down below because the fact that their podcast is very good. I've never been on that podcast, but I've recommended a few animes to Chris, which ended up going onto that podcast. I recommended to him like Seishin Budiyaro, No Game No Life, Sekirei, a few different animes like that that I've obviously fell in love with and that kind of thing, and I just kind of wanted to hear his thoughts for. And then they just ended up becoming podcast, which I think is really cool that, I had some kind of input into that, which is, fun. So I'm really glad that I got to contribute, quote unquote, to that in a way, and I just kind of made friends off of that. Falcon, if you're ever watching this, hello, first off. Would love to be able to talk to you at some point. Follow up. Sorry I made you watch Sekirei. That was my fault. That was my bad. But yeah. I just wanted to say thank you to him for, I guess, making me laugh and making me smile with a lot of the stuff on the podcast for back when that was out, and for being such a good friend to Chris, and by extension, I guess like being a friend to him and helping him to become who he is now in the way that it helped for me to be who I am today. Um, so just the indirect support you've given is something that I very much appreciate, and I wanted to be able to thank you for that in this little video here. Um, and then I wanted to be able to thank Alia. Alia, for those for whatever reason, if you haven't been watching my channel for whatever reason, for those of you who don't know, she was my co or was still as a guest that I had here on the channel and was a co-host on many videos that I recorded my fan critics series. She was with me through every single video of those that I made, and she is responsible for some of my personal favorite videos that I've made here on the channel. Be it the top 3 video that I made with her and John. Shouts to John will be coming, don't worry. We did the top 3 video together as our first video. We did a couple discussions with Chris also for fan vs. critic for RWBY. We've discussed Harry Potter. We've discussed Ninjago. We've discussed what else we discussed? We discussed the nature of romance and love triangles in our favorite shows, which was another fun video that I'd love to do. They've encouraged me to talk about openly that I'm a fan of High School DxD, even though, it's not to the degree that everyone thinks it is. They've got me to openly talk about how that's my favorite show and what it is about that I like. They've introduced me to K, which was one of my favorite anime series of the year last year. Still love it to pieces, and I want to do a review series of that as well at some point. It just I haven't finished it all yet, so I kind of want to go back and rewatch all of K, then do a review series of it, and then yeah, like I would also react to it again here on the channel, but also you know I still have the videos I did with Ollie, and all those videos are amazing. Those are my initial reactions to it. Hopefully, you guys were watching K along with us, 'cause that's kind of how I intended for those videos to be done. It's just like you'd be watching K, and we'd be in the background, kind of as a director's cut for our like reactions and reviews to K. Because I know those videos didn't necessarily do that well, but those videos were fun, and I love those videos to pieces. And I'm so glad that I got to do those with Alia. There's 2 more I think that I haven't posted yet. From our K reaction series. I will post those eventually. There's also like a really emotional video that I accidentally recorded with Alia, which will hopefully be coming out at some point. But we'll see how that ends up going. We have that's coming out soon. I'll have the my RWBY Justice League reaction coming out with it. But point being, Alia's been one of the other like big supporters of my content, of my channel, of my writing career, and of so much more. And I'm so glad, I'm so honored that I got to have her on the channel, that she made so many amazing thumbnails for my YouTube channel, that she's been such a strong support of so many different things that I've done here on YouTube and off YouTube. She's just such an amazing friend. And I'm so glad that I got to spend the time with her in LA, here in Ithaca, just all the time that I got to in general. And I miss her terribly. For those who don't know, she's graduated now. She's taking part in a job in Disney, and I guess I don't know how much of that I can actually talk about and that kind of thing. Like if it's not my story to tell, I don't want to necessarily be like I want to gush about Alia so much. I want to gush so hard about what they're doing in the world, and I want to talk about what they're doing out there, taking their first steps into like the industry and that kind of thing, which I haven't even done myself. But just like I'm so proud of how far Alia's come with so much. I've seen so many of their works. I've seen so many things Alia's produced and that kind of thing, and I'm so proud of those works on their own. And I know that wherever she's putting her mindset to, whatever she's putting her mindset to outside of here, that she's going to do amazing at it. And she is doing amazing at it. And I'm so proud of her for that. I want to wish her the absolute best and all the luck in the world for everything she's done. And just say thank you, Alia, for everything you've done for this channel, everything you've done for me just as a human being, and just for being the amazing you that you are. You're one of my absolute best friends, and I'm so glad that we got to spend the time together and we've gotten to do so many videos together. Um, I'm hoping that we will we will continue doing videos together in the future, but also, I know how busy life gets and such and that kind of thing. And I would hate to keep you from the amazing world that's calling out to you. Um, and I know there's so much out there for you, Alia, and I hope that you chase every opportunity out there, and I hope that every opportunity welcomes you with open arms, and it all works out so well for you. Because I I want that for my friends so badly, for all my friends to enjoy what this world has to offer. Um, and not to say that, it just, and then there's John, who I wanted to give a shout out to. He's another amazing, amazing support of mine. Right alongside with Alia. Just anytime I was ever feeling down, anytime I was ever struggling with my own head or struggling with my own stuff, he was always there as a very, very strong support of mine. And he helped me through a lot of different things. It just was always an open ear to speak to. On top of that, we were just very good friends. We got to hang out and do a whole bunch of really cool stuff. And I mean, I always got a laugh out of every single time we got to hang out together, and it was always super super fun. And I'm so glad that I got to meet them. I'm so glad that we got to hang out as much as we did while I was here in Ithaca. Um, it was really really fun. He was over at a small party we had in LA, and it was really really fun having us all together. And I'm super super glad I had him in my corner. John's just an amazing friend who I'm so glad to have. I love you guys so so much, and I'm so grateful for so much of what's happened so far. I'm grateful for the fact that I'm here standing, or not standing, but sitting at my desk here in Ithaca College. And I've gotten to experience this, and that we're nearing the end of my time here in Ithaca, and that I've gotten the chance to do so many different things here. That I'm sitting here at this channel, 50, at least 50 subscribers strong. I know it was 53. That I know it went down to 51 at one point, and I think it might be back up to 53 as of when I'm recording this. I don't exactly know, but I'm just gonna say at least 50 subscribers from last I saw it. That I'm sitting here at 50 subs with this, and that I'm still doing content here is because of so many amazing people who've helped me out so much. Oh, and there's even more because I made some other friends while I was in LA, and I wanted to give them a shout out as well. So in part of my effort at expanding my sphere, if you want to call it that, or expanding my influence. I wanted to be able to use Twitter a little bit more and make a few friends more. I posted a few things here and there talking about silly stuff always. The silly, silly stuff of just talking about Ruby, talking about a bunch of different shows that I'm a big fan of, talking about like small things here and there. I haven't been as active on it as I probably could be, but I do some stuff here and there. And while I was there, I got a bunch of people who reached out to me offering to be able to help me with my channel with banners and that kind of thing. Unfortunately, I can't accept anyone at this time because I don't really have the means of being able to pay for a lot of them or that kind of thing. And I also just like I want to be able to get my own feet stable and be able to have a job and support myself first, and then from there be able to branch out and be able to spend on commissions and be able to spend on others, to be able to support artists, and to be able to help expand my channel. But I need to be able to get my feet stable first. Uh, and it's just like a lot of people when I told them that they just kind of stopped talking to me, and I kind of was like, did you really want to make my friendship, or did you want to just make money off of me, or have me pay you money and then that be the end of it? Because it kind of felt like that from the fact that so many people just stopped talking to me after reaching out to me and that kind of thing. But that's that. But in the time that I was there were two people who, they're artists as well. They do commissions as well. However, the first thing they said wasn't, "Oh, by the way, I'm an artist. Are you looking for someone to be able to do stuff?" Their first thing was just, "Hi. I just wanted to be able to say hi, and you seem like a cool person. I'd like to get to know you." And I started talking with them a lot, and they've also been another huge huge source of support in the short time that kind of thing. They've just been like, "Hey, just keep at it." Like, I've been struggling with some stuff here. I know a lot of people in the sphere have been struggling. Um, and I kind of wanted to be able to just shout them out because I thought that they were very, very nice to me, and I'm very much appreciative of what they provided to me and to what they do for others in the sphere. And I want to just give them the chance to shout them out because about that, I think that they are they're really good at what they do. And I hope them nothing but success in their time. And I want to be able to wish them well. And the first one, I'm looking for their name because of the fact that I haven't spoken to them in a little bit, so I want to be able to make sure that I also am pronouncing their name correctly if I can find them. So the first one I wanted to shout out to was Evelyn. Of course, I also have the links to their X accounts in the description down below. But the first one I want to thank is Evelyn Harper, who has been, again, another just great friend. They do a lot of really good art. I know they've done some stuff for various various uh, YouTubers and various people on the internet and that kind of thing. They help a lot of people with their art. They help with doing some stuff with modeling and a bunch of some others, not modeling in like the fashion sense of modeling with the VTuber sense. And there've been a lot of people who've been offering to help with that, but also they've wanted to be able to help me out with just being able to expand my channel with art, and they have a very, very good sense of how to invoke emotion with art, which is something that drew me to them originally. They had like a horror theme going on their account originally, but now it's changed to something else. But it still is equally amazing, and I think it's really really good stuff that they do. So highly highly would recommend them. And in the same vein, I would like to give a shout out to Sophia, named Sophia Elizabeth. Would highly again recommend them because they also have a very strong understanding of just the craft when it comes to writing. They've been posting like so many inspirational quotes, which I've liked and I've been able to, and I've really appreciated seeing every day. I've talked to them a bit about like the craft of storytelling, and I've told them a little story about my journey with it, and they've been so they've listened to me, which is already a lot that I appreciated for that. Just the fact that they'd be willing to hear me out for how crazy the story I know is. And they've been so supportive also of just the fact that it's just like, we're all struggling to be able to make our way in the industry as newbies. Um, but, just to keep at it. And, they never, like, again, and they never made me feel like I was just a customer to them. They made me feel like an actual human being, and they made me feel like I was a person they could actually speak to, even when they were busy and doing stuff on their own. And I appreciate that from them. The first like online friends I've made in a very long time, and it didn't feel like it was a scam or anything like that. So big pluses to that, and they're just amazing people in general. And I would highly recommend checking out their art, and highly recommend checking out what it is that they have to offer. Um, and yeah, there's a few other people who I could thank here and there as well. There's a few friends who've been very supportive. My roommates who were very supportive of me. I don't know if I like. I don't know whether or not to shout them out because just like the people like Ollie were just like we've done stuff on the channel together, so just kind of like I feel comfortable shouting them out. When it's like I've never done videos with them and I've never posted any content of them, it's kind of like I never know if it's okay to shout them out or not because I'm just like it. I don't always feel comfortable getting shout outs because I just kind of like I get like not embarrassed, but it's just kind of like I get like very nervous with that, and I'm just like oh god, I'm getting shout out and that kind of thing. And just I don't want to do that to someone else. So I don't know whether or not to shout them out, but it's just like the if you're watching this video, guys, and you know who you are, thank you guys so much for putting up with me in LA, and then also for also just being the most supportive friends I could ever ask for, and for helping me through so much that was happening while we're up there. We're gonna get through this year of Ithaca together, and I'm hoping we'll see each other a lot more over the course of that time, and then we'll also be pushing toward our ambitions for making our way into the industry as we do. Um, and yeah, there's so many friends of mine who I want to be able to thank and that kind of thing. There's so many people in the world I want to be able to thank and who've been so supportive of me, and I can't get to every single one of them, unfortunately. But I want to be able to just say thank you because you guys have all been amazing to me, and I'm so grateful for every single one of you that have ever touched my life and have ever been a part of it in any shape or form or capacity. Um, yeah, I really don't know what this year is going to hold for me. I'm going to continue doing videos as I do. I'll probably still have videos all the way up until August of 2025, and then after that, I don't really know because I am expecting to graduate this year in May. And I'll of course have like videos talking about like kind of what that graduation process looks like. I'm not even like 3 weeks into my time here. Um, so I don't really know what to expect or what the path ahead is going to look like for me with doing stuff here in Ithaca, but I'm excited for it. The channel is going to keep doing what it's doing until I can't do it anymore, and we'll see kind of what that looks like. Then we'll see what post Ithaca Ani-mity B looks like. But for now, back to the usual routine, back to the usual same old what we were doing before. Back to content that I enjoy making for you guys, and hopefully you guys will enjoy too. And yeah, So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Thank you for giving me your time and listening to this all. I hope that, the people who I did shout out in this video that you guys have seen this, and I hope you guys will check them out in the description below with all the links that I'm going to put down there. And yeah, here's to another adventure for us all, and here's to a brand new journey for us all to embark on. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!